All right, so it's a nice, slow, relaxing class to start the day. Just start to come onto your back. Excuse me. Get comfortable. Bring your arms and your legs out nice and wide. Tuck your shoulders under. And then just start to find just a few big belly breaths here, in and out through the nose. Just letting your stomach expand on the breath in. And then just try to soften away any physical tension on the breath out. Just letting go of any distractions, anything on your to-do list after class. Just try to really clear the mind. Let yourself be here, be present for the next 30 minutes of practice. I'll take about 3 more cycles of breath here before we start to get moving. And then at the end of the third breath, just start to rock the head side to side. So before you start to move your fingers and toes, just rocking the head side to side. Try to get the ear a little bit closer toward the mat each time. Just feeling any tension in the neck, the shoulders. And then the next time that your right ear comes toward the mat, just hold there. So gazing over to the right, and now walk your left hand away from the body. Palm faces down, spread the fingers wide, and then press into the floor. So you should feel that stretch all the way down the neck, the top of the shoulder, maybe even down through the arm. And then just breathing into that tension. Good, come back through center and then head right over to the opposite side. So left ear works toward the mat, right arm extends away. Palm is down, press into the floor to deepen the stretch. Awesome, come back through center. And now start to wiggle fingers, toes, circle wrists and ankles. Good, heels come together. Arms reach up overhead, point the toes. Take an inhale, get as long as you can here. And exhale, relax the body. Let's do one more just like that, breathing in. And breathing out. Good, you're gonna keep the legs and the arms extended. I think we've done this one before. Walk both of your heels over to the right corner, the bottom right corner. Left ankle crosses on top. And now hands come over to top right corner. You can hold on to your left wrist. So ideally, we're feeling this along the left side. And try to relax both of your shoulders. So watch if that left shoulder is lifting up. Maybe bend the elbows a bit so both shoulders are just settling into the mat. And bring the chin away from the chest so you can breathe. And then just expanding through the spaces between the ribs on your inhales. Soften on your exhales. And make your way back right into the opposite side. Bottom and top left corners. You can cross that right ankle over top if you like. Awesome. Back through center. Let's take one more stretch here. Full body. Inhale, reach, point those toes. And exhale, relax. Bring the feet onto the floor. Draw the knees into the chest, arms around the shins. Give yourself a squeeze. Good. Thighs hug in nice and tight as you press into the lower back. And then just rock yourself side to side. Working into any tension. Maybe start to trace circles around your low back. A couple times, both directions. All right, from here, just going to bring the feet down onto the mat. Either arm comes overhead. Roll onto that side, and then just land there for a moment. And whenever you are ready, let's come onto our front into a wide-legged child's pose. So the knees about mat distance. Hips to the heels, rest your foreheads, and then just walk those hands forward. It can take a little while to settle into this one, especially first thing in the morning. So just give yourself that time, give your body that time for the muscles to start to relax into this. You can always place a pillow under your hips or beneath your chest if you need a little extra support. All right, let's spread those fingers wide, press into the hands, come forward into a tabletop position. And before we move into cat-cows, we're gonna get into the side body here. So on your inhale, start to look over your right shoulder toward the right hip as you press your hips over to the left. Exhale, come back through center. Breath in, switch, pressing hips to the right as you look over left shoulder. Exhale, center. So keep moving through those. Inhale to press. Exhale to come back. I'll do about 2 more on each side. No rush here. Slowly waking up all the muscles. And then once you're done, just make your way back through center, back into tabletop. And then we'll head right into our cat-cows. So inhale, the belly drops. You're scooping through your lower back. Lift the chest, lift the gaze, roll the shoulders back. And exhale, press into the hands, around the spine, and press up right between your shoulder blades. And inhale, lifting up, shoulders back. Exhale, round the spine, push the mat away from you. I do 3 more here. Good, come back to neutral. So this next one, I don't think I've instructed with you before, but you can always just sit back and watch for a moment if you like. You're gonna take your right leg, start to extend it back behind you. And now you're gonna start to roll open. I know you can't really see, but my right foot is planted. So it's parallel to the back edge of the mat. Left hand is planted. And now you're gonna wanna turn your left shin on a bit of an angle so you have a nice solid base. Right hand reaches up, so I can just turn to the side so you can see. So you're basically like this on your mat, and you can leave your right toes resting. And what you're going to do is just start to trace nice big circles with that right arm. And then if you want that extra challenge, if you want to bring a bit of core work into this, you can hover your right toes off of the mat. And just make sure you do switch directions with the right arm, circling the opposite way. Make sure the breath is steady. Do about 3 more cycles of breath. And then at the end of the third breath, you're just going to come back through center, just reset, and then left toes reach back, same setup, roll open, so stacking the hips, plant that foot parallel to the back edge of the mat, take your right shin on a diagonal so you have a solid foundation, left hand reaches, okay, belly pulls in, and then start to circle. Maybe hovering the left foot if you're feeling up to that today. Just creating some space in the shoulders here. About 3 more breaths. And end of the third. Back to center, tabletop. Maybe rock those hips back a bit, side to side. And then from your tabletop, spread those fingers wide, walk the knees back, tuck the toes under, lift your hips up to a downward facing dog. So you want your feet to be about hip distance apart here. Hands are shoulder distance. Spread the fingers wide and really focus on pressing down through index fingers and thumbs. Maybe pedal this out, back and forth, back and forth. Just wake up the backs of the legs. And gently pressing the chest toward the thighs. Lift the sits bones toward the ceiling. Get long through the backs of the legs. All right, now start to come forward into a high plank. Bring your knees down to the mat and untuck your toes. So you're in a modified high plank right now. Gaze is just in front of your mat. Take an inhale through your nose. Now on your exhale, bend your elbows, start to lower yourself all the way to your stomach. So nice and slow. You're going to press into the shoelace parts of the feet, so the tops of the feet. Take an inhale, peel the chest and the hands off of the mat. So this is your Cobra pose. And now on your exhale, just lower down. We're going to do that a few more times. So inhale, try to use the strength in your back to lift the chest, hover the hands. Exhale, lower. 2 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale to soften. And 1 more. Deep breath in. This time on the breath out, press yourself back through tabletop. Bring your hips to your heels, child's pose. We'll take a couple breaths here. Spread those fingers wide, root into the hands. Take an inhale, come forward, you're back into your modified high plank. And now on the exhale, bend the elbows, lower down. We're gonna do those 3 sets of Cobra again. So inhale, lift the chest, pull the abs in. Exhale, lower. A deep breath in, lift. Exhale, soften. And 1 more, breathing in. On your breath out, press it back, table to child's pose. Rest the head, hips to the heels. And 1 more here, spread fingers wide, root into the hands. Inhale, come forward, knees are down. Exhale with control, lower it all the way. 3 cobras, breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, use the strength along the spine to lift the chest. Exhale, soften. And one more, deep breath in. Breath out, press it back. If it's comfortable for you this time, bring the knees right together. Sweep the arms behind you into a closed-legged child's pose. Resting the head onto the mat or to a cushion. If that doesn't work, you can just come to wide-legged. With the knees together and the arms behind, you just might feel a bit more of a stretch in the back, and this also gives you a little more space for your shoulders. I'm going to take about 3 more breaths here in child's pose. And then at the end of the 3rd breath, hands come out in front of you, come forward, and then just make your way into a comfortable seated position. So you can sit cross-legged or legs extended out in front of you. You can sit onto a cushion and just whatever feels good. Just find a tall spine. Maybe you want to close your eyes here or lower your gaze. Draw the abs in so the core is engaged. And then just find a few deep breaths. Sometimes in those bigger transitions, we can become distracted or you lose that connection with your breath. And now bring the chin down to the chest. Let your head be really heavy. Relax your shoulders. Then just slowly start to rock the head back and forth. Just do that a few more times both ways. Good, and as you come back through center, you're going to reach your right arm up overhead. Bend the elbow so the right fingers are resting just between your shoulder blades. Left hand comes to the right elbow. I'm just going to switch the way I'm sitting. And take an inhale as you lengthen. And now on your exhale, just come up and over to the left side, just very slightly. So inhale, find some space. Exhale, so you're feeling that right side all the way into the back of the upper arm, into your tricep. Good, make your way back. Let that go, give the shoulders a quick roll. And then left arm comes up. Same thing, bend the elbow. Right hand to left elbow, lengthen on the breath in. And come up to the right on the breath out. And inhale, lifting. Exhale, reaching. All right, back through center, let that go. And just give those shoulders a roll. And now let's take the arms out in front. You're going to interlace your fingers. And you want to keep your elbows nice and wide. So you don't want them super straight, like you're hugging a big beach ball right in front of your chest. You're going to bring the chin down to the chest. And then without actually separating your hands, try to find that action of pulling your hands apart. Good, so sort of pressing your elbows out to the side walls. Bring the chin down. You can lean back just slightly here. You want to feel this sort of right between your shoulder blades, across the tops of the shoulders. Awesome. Release that, and we're going to just do a counter pose. So interlace hands behind you. Lift the hands so they're not touching your low back, and then you're just pressing the knuckles back, just like this. Rolling the shoulders back, feel that stretch right across the chest. You can always lift your gaze just very slightly to deepen. Good. Let that go. Give the shoulders a roll. Check our time. Okay. All right. So just sit onto either hip. Now legs come out in front of you. And again, I'll turn to the side just so you can see. If you are tight through your hamstrings, you'll likely want to keep a bend in your knees, because this is going to be an active forward fold, meaning we want a nice long spine. We don't want to be rounded forward. So we're going to inhale, just reach the arms up. And on your exhale, hinge forward just to the point where you can keep a flat back. So as soon as you start to do this, come back up. It's not about touching your feet here. You're just going to bring your hands down, let them land where they land, keeping that flat back, just gently folding forward. So it's more about sort of hinging from your hips, bringing your belly toward the thighs, and then feeling this in the backs of the legs. So if you're feeling it in your low back at all, it likely means that you're rounded, so just walk back up, straighten the back. You can also do this stretch. If you have a strap at home, you just loop the strap around the feet, and then you would hold on to it and then pull yourself forward. Basically just adds a little more length to your arms. We'll be here just for about 5 cycles of breath. At the end of the 5th breath, just carefully walk yourself up. You can bring your hands behind you, plant the feet, just give your knees a little sway, just a nice way to reset after that pose. And then extend the legs out in front of you again. This time you're going to bend the right knee and step your right foot to the outside of your left leg. So you're sitting up tall, now your right arm comes behind you, and you want it nice and close, sort of like a kickstand, keeping you up straight. You can just wrap the left arm around the right thigh, tall spine, and just gently twisting to the right. So on your inhale, try to grow a little bit taller, find that length. And on your exhale, bring the belly to the spine and twist open to the right. Awesome. Come back through center. Right leg extends. Bend the left knee. Plant that foot so you're coming right into the opposite side. Left hand behind. Right arm wraps. Okay, lengthen through the back body on the inhale. Twist on the exhale. 3 more breaths on this side. And end of your last breath, come back through center. Take just a really gentle counter twist. And make your way back. Unwind the legs, soles of the feet come together. And then you want your heels to be relatively close to your pelvis. You don't want a big amount of space. This one is helpful, or sitting onto a cushion rather is helpful in this one as well, especially if your back is super rounded. And I'll turn to the side, another active forward fold, meaning we want a straight spine. So take an inhale, and now on your exhale, start to hinge just to the point where your back can stay straight. And a lot of us are pretty tight in this pose, especially through our inner thighs, our hips. So it's not about how far you can fold forward, it's just about feeling that stretch, and it shouldn't feel painful or sharp in any way, just that slight bit of discomfort that comes along with stretching. Okay, just keep that breath nice and fluid. All right, carefully start to walk yourself back up. Bring your hands to the outsides of your knees and close up your legs. Wrap the arms around the shins, tuck your chin to your chest and give yourself a squeeze. Beautiful. Make your way onto your back, just the way that we started class. Arms and legs out wide. Take up as much space as you need to be comfortable. Just make any last adjustments. Tuck those shoulders under, tuck the chin. And then just taking just a few deep belly breaths here once again, just before you head into your day. Just noticing the way the body feels compared to how it felt at the beginning of class. Hopefully a little more open, a little more energized. So this is where I leave you this morning. I know I said last week that I would only be here for lockdown, but we're going to continue the live streams twice a week for yoga, just since capacity is limited at the gym and people aren't comfortable going back yet. So I will be here as long as Tyler tells me to be.
I appreciate it because I can't go to the gym because I'm high risk.
Okay.
So very, very grateful. And my son is doing this with me as well. Nice. And he's had a real muscle pain because he overdid it in dance last week, and he's feeling a lot better after this. So thank you very much.
Yeah, of course. I'll see you tomorrow if you're coming on.
Yeah, planning on being here.
Awesome. Okay, have a great day, Jessica.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.